It's been an incredible journey over these past 30 days. When I first started this marathon, I wanted to push myself creatively and help you take your production skills to the next level, or just inspire y'all, because a lot of y'all are already dope. But little did I know I would learn a lot as well. You know, we've covered so much, from flipping loops like a pro to mastering vocal chops, exploring free sound packs that change the way we create, and doing things the complicated way, because that's just how we do it in Reason. But what really stood out to me is how being a musician is a constant journey, where we all hit bumps and breakthroughs. And speaking of bumps, one of my biggest frustrations now is how little interest Reason gets as a DAW. I've made over 300 YouTube videos on Reason, and while it's an amazing tool, it just doesn't get the recognition that we want it to get in the wider music production community. And to be honest, it's been limiting my growth. My goal is to become one of the biggest names in music tech, not just an influencer, but someone who really shapes the way we think about music production. But the truth is, I can't reach new heights in areas where those opportunities don't exist. Now, don't get me wrong, of those 300 videos, the first maybe 100, I wasn't very good. I was a beginning YouTuber, beginning at teaching, beginning at a lot of things, still learning how to make beats. I think we're all still learning something in some capacity, but that doesn't change the fact of how much work I put in and how much I've given to this craft. And building my platform on this software in general has, well, I mean, you can see Reason's pace of advancements have been a huge setback for my growth, and I hope they get up to speed soon, as we've all put a lot of eggs in that basket. Much love and respect to the guys over at Reason Studios. For some reason, to me, this seems to be out of their control. There's got to be something else at stake here. But the bigger issue is that while I love Reason, it's time for me to explore other avenues that align with my long-term goals. I remember maybe my first video was in Reason 9. I remember when I started making Reason tutorials, VSTs weren't supported. So I couldn't cover a lot of content that other creators were able to cover unless I tried new software. And at this point, you know, I was working while in college and in high school, whatever the case is, so that I could save up money to buy gear. I wasn't being given anything at those initial stages. Everything was all, you know, the time I put into it, the money I put into it. And I couldn't cover VSTs because Reason didn't support VSTs, and when they finally added it, you know, that was great. But then there was a huge wave and a trend for MIDI plugins like Scalar, and I'm sure you can name them. And MIDI out was never added. Instead, Reason added players. But you couldn't use players in any other playground, any other platform. It was just specific to Reason. And, you know, a slew of other things could be named that has set the DAW back in terms of competing with other softwares in the market. Throughout the marathon, I've tested so many topics. Some videos got 400 views, while others hit 4,000. It's wild how unpredictable this journey could be, but I'm focusing on content that resonates with me and figuring out how I can bring the most value moving forward. Now, for those of you who have been following along, I've got something exciting to share. Grammy Award winner Illmind hooked us up with an exclusive discount code to try out his new loop making platform called Loop Magic. And what makes it so special is that it's ethically trained on his own beats. So if you want to dive into a platform powered by a legendary producer, you've got to check it out. And another cool thing is that Illmind uses Reason to make beats. I've seen him use Pro Tools as well, but lately he's been doing a lot of stuff in Reason. These guys have names for themselves in the industry, or have built their platforms on more broad topics, broader softwares, and I think I deserve to do that as well. So, you know, when I publish content that doesn't feature Reason and I get a ton of hate comments, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, I usually delete most of them, but A lot of them I just ignore. Like, I outright abandoned Reason. She basically ditched Reason. Oh, Kickback must not be getting kickbacks anymore. Like, all that kinds of stuff. You know, I won't say it's hurtful, because it's not. I've grown used to it, but at one point it did hold me back. It definitely did hold me back from doing a lot of things outside of Reason, because people made me feel like I could only stay in one lane. And you know, I created this lane for myself, so I can create another one. But I digress. If you're not into AI, that's cool too. I've got a link to some free patches and combinators from Loop Depot that you can download and start using right away. Whether you're on the AI train or prefer to keep it classic, I've got you covered. As for my next steps, I'm still deciding whether I want to use Ableton Live or FL Studio as my go-to DAWs. I'll definitely keep featuring Reason content, especially the Reason Rack plugin whenever I see there's a demand for it. Oh, and if you want to keep leveling up your producer game, I've got courses available that can take you even deeper into the world of Reason. Plus, my Reason Combinator Avian is out now, packed with powerful sounds to elevate your tracks. And if you're all about freebies, make sure to grab the free kits on my site and sign up to my email list to get 3 of my favorite free gifts. I only mention these gifts in my email, so if you want them, now you know how to get them. Also, the prices on my kits and courses are significantly cut from the starting prices, because I wanted to give people who really wanted to support me the opportunity to do so. They're cheaper on my site than they are on the Reason Studio site, because Reason Studios only ends their prices in 5s and 9s. I really want to take a moment to thank the Reason community. I've done tons of Reason content, but I've also done plugin reviews, Ableton Live tutorials that have actually gotten more traction than my normal Reason videos. And it's all thanks to every single interaction you've had with me online. Because of your support, I've had the amazing opportunities to work with some of the biggest names in the industry, like Waves Audio, Native Instruments, Audio Modern, I love them, Antares, UVI, Zzounds, and so many more. But let me be clear, I did not take those opportunities to sell you a product. I took them because I was genuinely excited to work with those brands, and I wanted to bring that excitement back to you. I've also had the pleasure of working with some incredible Reason developers who still send me cool stuff that I'll continue to use, like Robotic Bean, Tonic Mint, Eksperimental Sounds, and DNA Lab software, especially DNA Lab software. Hold on, wait a minute. DNA Lab software has been such a huge influence on my sound, even as a producer using Reason, because a lot of the sounds in Reason when I started out were very hip-hop, but they were very retro, very old school, and I wanted that new sound in Reason. And because Reason didn't support VSTs, I had to find a way to get that sound. And DNA Labs a lot of the times was the only place to get that. Sure, I could import drums from wherever, but the sounds, the synths, the presets, DNA Labs really set the tone for that in hip-hop for me. Especially when there was no VST support in Reason. Now, yes, I am primarily a hip-hop producer and I love making trap beats, but I have gotten into other genres. I just don't share it on this channel because, you know, it doesn't seem like it's worth it. A lot of people don't care about Reason. Over the years, I've seen a bunch of people, other creators, content creators, dabble in creating content for Reason, and they all stop because they realize that it's not worth it and people just aren't interested. And I will, you know, push back and say it is definitely worth it for the community that is there. However, as creators, a lot of times we have to put our own time first. We love the communities we create for, but we also want to love the content we're creating and the trajectory of the content we're creating. Some of my favorite YouTubers have created videos in Reason, and they do really well because they have a core audience that really rocks with them. And because my content has been Reason based, a lot of people have dropped off and become very uninterested, and that's just a reality that I can, you know, own up to and be honest about. And because my channel is mostly reason focused. A lot of people have just tuned out. I would like to talk about things other people are interested in and other things I'm interested in as well. All of these developers, all of these YouTubers are pushing the Reason platform forward, and they've kept me inspired through this journey. So I know there are plenty of great Reason-based YouTubers out there that will keep y'all covered with amazing content. But for me, it's time to move on to new opportunities and explore different avenues. I got to go, but I appreciate the love and support from this community. We're just getting started with the next chapter, and I can't wait to take y'all along for the ride. Any last words? I'm not making this video to be dramatic. I'm not making this video to get views. I'm making this video to address the community that supports me and letting you know that I am unhappy using Reason and I want to use something else. So if you don't want to support that, I completely understand, but I'm gonna support myself. I've invested thousands of dollars into the Reason ecosystem, and I will continue to use it. However, as far as my goals for life, it would not be the right move to continue to push a platform that can't push itself. That's just rich.